Hey friends, welcome into the Leadership Sandbox. I'm Tammy J. And we're diving right into this episode today because I want to talk about feedback loops and why they don't work and when the system that you have in place punishes them. Wait, what's that mean? We punish? Yes, you might. So strap yourself in. This is going to be fast and in a hurry, and it's probably going to sting a little bit. Let's get something clear right out of the gate. You don't have a feedback problem, you have a reaction problem. Because feedback loops don't fail due to lack of surveys that you're giving on employee engagement. They fail because people don't feel safe telling the truth in your environment. And before you say, that's not us, we encourage feedback, we encourage open dialogue. Let me ask you something simple. What happened the last time someone told you something you didn't like? Or when was the last time in your organization you witnessed another leader reacting in a way to something they didn't like to hear? Did anything change? Or did it change how safe people felt speaking up? Or did it change the way that people engage with one another when they don't agree? Silence is not engagement, it's self-protection. Harvard Business Review has studied employee silence extensively, and their research shows employees withhold concerns when they believe nothing will change. They'll be labeled as difficult, or they've seen someone else pay the price. They've seen someone else get in trouble because they spoke up. That's not disengagement, it's survival. And people are incredibly attentive and perceptive. Even on the Zoom calls, people are paying attention to when certain individuals speak up, or those people that are labeled as the ones that always speak up, so then others are shrinking back and they don't have to. That's not a good environment for you to have either, because the people that are quiet probably have an incredible level of observation of what's really happening, that maybe errors or challenges or things that we could fix or how we could improve and get better, but they don't speak up because they're known as being the quiet ones. So why would they? It's safe for them to be quiet. We don't measure success by what people come and say in your town hall meetings or the feedback that you get from your engagement surveys. You want to measure what happens when someone speaks up. And if the pattern is dismissal, defensiveness, delay, subtle retaliation, gossiping about, and that subtle retaliation, let me talk about the subtle retaliation. Subtle retaliation is that in your next management meeting, you're talking about Catherine and how Catherine actually dared to speak up and ask questions, and you're making jokes about Catherine. Or when you're talking about the next team meeting with your key managers, and you're bringing everybody together, you've already figured out where you want Catherine to sit or how you're going to shut Catherine down so she doesn't speak up. Your feedback loop in that moment, you just killed it, and you haven't admitted it yet. So stop those behaviors, identify what they are, stop those behaviors, and then you want to insert a different feedback system, because you are the feedback system as the leader. Amy Edmondson's work on psychological safety makes it clear. People speak up when they believe it's safe to take interpersonal risk. Safe doesn't mean comfortable. It means they won't be punished socially, politically, or professionally for telling the truth. Here's the part that I've seen leaders don't like when I bring this up. And I get it. We've got all these buzzwords. Do we create a psychologically safe environment? Like this is a safe space? I get it. I've heard it. I've actually probably used it as a joke to get people on edge with me so then I can go in and instill a psychologically safe system for people to feel that they can speak up. But I'm different. I get to come in from the outside and do that. You all, as leaders in your teams and organizations, can't get sassy like that. It's true. You can't. It'll have repercussions if you do. But as a leader, you are the safety system, your face, your tone, your body language, the first response that you have, your follow through, your follow up with them. That's the system that you as an individual employ and deliver to your team. And if someone gives you hard feedback, and your first move is to justify, your first move is to minimize, your first move is to tell them, you're wrong, I don't do that. Or, oh, well, that's interesting. I don't ever remember doing that. You get that defensive mode, right? Or even a simple, let's take that offline, but then you never return to it because you just dismissed it. They just learned something about you. They learned about you something very key, not about the company, not about the organization, but about you as the leader. And you just eroded their trust and you just attacked their ability to feel safe in that environment and that it's actually celebrated, acknowledged, and okay even to bring up the uncomfortable things. You've got people on your team that can help you transform the results that you say that you want if only you would listen to them, if only you would give them voice. Because surveys don't fix the issue of psychological safety. You can't automate honesty. Surveys don't fix that. You can go ahead and send out those surveys every quarter, and you can hire people like me to come in and you can build dashboards. But if the behavior doesn't change after the feedback is given and the system is designed and implemented, trust collapses. And the next time you bring in someone that's highly skilled to come in and help transform your team, or you get another one of those programs off the shelf from some company that is going to help develop your leaders, people don't trust that's going to work because no one follows through with it. It's just that's the culture you're reinforcing as a lack of follow through and ownership. The dashboards need to be used. We need to understand what they are and what they mean to each person, each seat on your bus. But if behavior doesn't change after feedback is given and trust collapses, you have a huge problem. MIT Sloan has written about why strategies fail, and one key factor is when leaders don't follow through consistently. And what's that translate to, friends? People stop offering input when input doesn't mean anything. Why should I bother? They don't do anything with it anyway. I hear that a lot. Feedback without visible response is performance theater. Let me say that one again. I'm going to say it a little different. You're performing the good manager, and you as the center stage of the show with your visible response when feedback is offered, or without giving feedback when it's needed. Employees aren't fooled by you. What they want is true and authentic follow-up and follow-through, clarity of those expectations. You know, all the things we talk about in the sandbox. And the uncomfortable truth when we get real is that sometimes leaders say that they want feedback, but what they really want is affirmation. I want the confirmation that I'm okay as the leader, that I'm okay and that we're okay. They don't want feedback. And what I get frustrated with is when I go in and leaders have ignored the boots on the ground front end delivery people. And we're not really thinking through how they're impacted by what it is that we say that we want, or what it is that we say we're changing, what it is that we're doing. It's made at the top level, and then it's hopeful that it's going to filter down and it's going to have the right impact on the front line, but no one actually engaged the front line to see what they want, how they're going to, how they might be impacted by these changes or these programs. Leaders want validation. They want polished suggestions. They want things packaged neat and tidy if it comes across as a concern. They don't want the decision is hurting morale. They don't want you to say you're inconsistent. They don't want the leaders don't want to hear that we don't trust the direction because we don't understand it. Honest systems produce uncomfortable data. They just do. It's the truth. It's a reality. And if you only reward agreeable voices, you are now lukewarm and you are training silence, not connection, collaboration, not growth, not ownership. You're training silence. Let that sink in for a minute, Peter. Because if feedback feels like challenging or rare in your organization, it's not because the people in your team or on your team don't care, or that somehow we didn't hire right. We didn't hire for the right culture fit. It's because they learned that there's a cost with it. And feedback loops don't work when the system punishes honesty, period. Going back to the beginning of this episode. And the system isn't something that you can just put a new algorithm to and then hope and pray that it changes. It takes time and consistency. It takes effort to change a leadership behavior. If you're serious about building culture where truth moves, doesn't disappear, then you're going to want to look at our leadership behavior operating system, command. It exists for such a time as this because culture doesn't shift with surveys. It shifts when leaders respond differently. And you can get the link in the show notes to learn more about Command, our leadership behavior operating system at the Leadership Sandbox. I'm excited about this new program because I know that it's going to rock some worlds. And it's going to make people shift their perspective on leading. And my hope always is if I have a leader that shows up and they're the wrong seat in the seat on the bus, then I want them to select their next opportunity. And it may not be in leadership. I am a firm believer that not every person should lead people. But our system, our Command Leadership Behavior Operating System, is about teaching humans how to lead other humans from a behavior approach so that we get the things that we say that we want in our workplace. So I'm glad you joined me today. If you have a system in place where you've created an environment or you're in an environment where feedback is not safety, it's not safe to speak up, then I want you to take a hard look in the mirror because those feedback loops are important for us to be able to grow and move forward, but they don't work if we punish honesty. And a really great place to start is for you to actually ask the question. I'd love to hear it and I'd love to see it from people. Tell me, where have you felt that we in our organization have maybe punished honesty because we haven't honored feedback loops? See what they say. Start big and then, bring it down, bring it in, meaning start organizationally. And then you can get comfortable going to you to ask about where have I done that? And not that people are going to share it right away, but eventually they will. But if you want your feedback loops to start working, don't punish them for speaking up. And that includes anybody who has facial expressions that give away their inner thoughts. It's a reality. All right, friends, thanks for joining me in the Sandbox this week. I'll see you next time for another compelling and captivating episode in the Leadership Sandbox, where we talk about all things changing and transforming your behaviors, your mindset, the way you communicate, the powerful questions that you ask so that you grow as a healthy leader in the Sandbox. Thanks for taking time to grow into your next level of leadership. I'm always honored that you spent time with me today. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so that you get all the notifications what's coming out of the Sandbox. Share it with somebody that you think can actually benefit from learning about feedback loops today. Make it a great day. God bless you.